How hot is it?
It's been pretty hot out there, I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? But it's been pretty good though.
So how exciting has this camp been for you? It seems like there's a lot of eyes on you to be kind of the leader. You've been here the longest of all the guys in your room that are going to be playing. What has that been like?
I mean, it's been great, to be honest. I've kind of talked about before, like taking a step in the leadership role. You know what I mean? A lot of guys, I feel like they look up to me, and, I like that. You know what I mean? It's just pretty much just showing them the way, doing what I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean? Just taking it day by day. So it's been really exciting. Like, I love it.
What do you think you understand or get now that maybe 2 years ago you weren't quite there yet from a play on the field, but also as a leader?
Definitely on the field would be like the details. I talk about that a lot with Salgado's defense. It's a lot of little details and certain stuff, and maybe I didn't understand that when I was a little younger. But now, going through it, this is his third year and my third year with him. That's I took a big step in that. You know what I mean? And, as a leader, you know what I'm saying. It's pretty much just leading from the front. I guess, I want to show the younger guys how it's supposed to be done in the correct way. You know what I mean? So they watch me do it. When they go out there, they do the same thing. You know what I mean? And that's how you create depth in the depth chart, for sure.
Coach Salgado talked about BSU, being able to blow stuff up in the run game and just be disruptive. Like, how important is that going to be for y'all, even in the safety room, to be a part of that, to be physical in the run game as well, to be able to stop the run?
It's definitely important. I feel like all 11, we have to play fast and physical. So when he says BSU, I mean, it's pretty much that's what it is. We got to blow stuff up, man. I mean, when we come downhill, that's our mindset with everybody, D-line, linebackers, all the way to the back end. That's a big part of the game for us.
Is practice like different now? Like you're seeing more? Like is going through practice even different than the last couple of years for you?
I would say most definitely. It's like going through practice now, everything is pretty much slowing down for me. I guess you could say when I was like, younger, everything was moving like really fast. And then like obviously I had Tyrone Lewis, Jalen Clark, and then, Tyree Skipper. And, watching those guys do it, I'm like, man, they do it like it's clockwork. And it wasn't like that for me at first. But like now going out to practice, everything's definitely slowing down, to where I can see different things. And I feel like that's kind of what it is.
You talked about Tyrone Lewis. Obviously, he's out there coaching with you guys, him and Patton. So, like, how does that help having a guy that's literally been in your shoes, helping to coach you along the way as you're continuing your development as a leader too?
I feel like it's definitely big, with T. With him being back there on the field, helping coach us up and stuff like that, he may see something different that we don't see as a player. The coaches see what they see because they're obviously the coaches. And then as T. Lou being a player that has actually played in Salgado's defense, he may see something else and can help me out with something I might not recognize. So we go to watch the film, you know what I mean? And we get back on the field, now I see something completely different. So
last year, there were a lot of big plays given in the pass game, communication errors or whatever. What are you seeing in practice that maybe looks a little different or that you think can limit those big plays that y'all give up in the pass game?
I feel like it's just kind of exactly what you said with the communication part of it. I feel like maybe last year we didn't have as good of communication. Salgado always says black, white, no gray. And last year I feel like we didn't really have that. We had some gray areas. But going into this year, I feel like we've definitely cleaned that up a lot. You know what I mean? The communication is like high level about everything. I mean, from the recognition of the formations to the motions, just everything, the communication is amped up.
Personally, for you as like a defensive leader, who has kind of impressed you stepping up their play throughout these past few weeks of fall camp?
I mean, it's a lot of guys. One person I could say though, I believe is Connor McPherson. I love the way he plays, as a linebacker. He's very physical and he's fast, and with him getting more into the playbook, I feel like he's just even better. You know what I mean? He makes it easier for us back end guys to do what we need to do.
And Coach Des, he's talked a lot about McPherson over the past couple of weeks. What do you think is the one thing that really makes him special?
I would say, honestly, even though he is a young player, he has a lot of leadership skills. Like, he can get guys lined up. He can make the calls and we go off of whatever he pretty much does. You know what I mean? He brings energy all the time, and I feel like that's a big thing for him.
Colin has had a weird career, and then he was a special teamer, and then he had a couple of just games where he was a star last year, and then he got hurt. So what about y'all two working together? Just talk about that relationship with the safety.
I mean, with Colin Jacob, I feel like he's my partner in crime. That's my guy. I love him to death, and I love the way he plays as well. He's another guy that has high energy. He's a very physical player. He's going to come down here, he's going to make the tackles. And I feel like that's a big thing that we needed for the defense. He's a guy that he'll definitely, he can spark the defense whenever we need it. So, yeah.
What can you help? Like Rennell was a guy that had to play last year because of everything that happened at the end of the year with suspensions and injuries. And he kind of had some highlight plays like you did early on. How have you helped him, do you feel like?
Going back to even last year when he had to go in the game, I met with him and stuff like that. And he was a little bit nervous, as everyone would be. And pretty much just me and him going through the playbook together, watching film together. Like, I emphasize on, he sees things differently than I see. And then we'll go watch it, and then I can explain it to him to where he's like, oh, okay, now I see it like this. So when he gets on the field, and he does make those plays, it's kind of like, I already seen him do it, and, I trust him. So,